was quite emphatic. But it's day one as well. Towards the end of the day, of course, you'll see some of the more closer ranked teams, or should I say, teams of sort of the same caliber, and that should be a bit more competitive.
Yeah, definitely. That is the third round of the Sportpesa National 7th Circuit, match day one. The Principal 7, Nijo Amaitsa, dancing through the Stallions' defensive line. And it's a line break, ladies and gentlemen. Fast-paced Sevens rugby. Whoever lands on the ball first, they kick it dead in goal. That is Strathmore Leos. That should be a 22-meter dropout for the Stallions. That is, if I'm not wrong, the referee should be able to signal that Stallions and the Strathmore Leos playing their second round of games. Both teams looking to lay a claim, looking to lay stake to bragging rights of being part and parcel of the Driftwood Sevens. Going into contact, Strathmore Leos. Mwendwa clears the rack. Arnold Muita, Victor Mola dancing through. Victor once, twice. Brian Mwendwa, high into a high tackle there. Brian Mwendwa is apprehended, and the referee gives the penalty. I thought it was a high tackle.
The Strathmore technical bench not very happy.
Yeah, definitely. They
and
wouldn't
very,
be happy.
very vocal there. I think the referee will ask his assistant here to just calm them down.
Who's the technical bench of the Strathmore Leos?
It's a colorful bunch, if I can put it that way. Walter.
Kadovilis.
Charles Kadovilis.
And Foxy. What a combination.
Really Sojal, or better known as Foxy.
Yes.
Very vocal the touchline. They thought that was a high tackle, I think, and having consulted his assistant referee, I think he calls back the play. He had given it to the Stallions, but he calls back the play, a scrum down for Strathmore.
Yeah, the scrum down has been a tool for Sevens. They had a penalty, they could have kicked down, touch, probably a line out, but they've opted to go for this. It sets them centrally. There's attacking opportunity both on the blind and the open side. Yeah,
I think they split the pitch into two. Some teams call it a power play, and when you split the pitch into two, it allows, for example, there the scrum half just did a line break there. Victor, you see Victor Mola brings the ball back in. Yeah, looks like a definite try there.
Yeah, that's Arnold Muita.
Arnold Muita there, it's called they try the corner. Yeah, you know, they call it a power play. Splits the pitch into two. Defense has to make a decision. Do you go over to the short side as well? And in that scenario, Brian Mwendwa just picks the ball, and that creates an overlap immediately because the scrum half now is free. And all of a sudden, on one part of the pitch, you have 3v2. And Strathmore just executed that very well.
Yeah, and actually, if you can see the devastation of that effect. Once it comes, it works, you know. It's very simple. Catch, create an overload, 1v1. If you can't defend, you can defend. If you can attack, you can attack.
It becomes a game of numbers, 3v2. If you just straighten the line and fix the player and then fix the defender rather than pass, then it works. It works well. Of course, it helps to have players like Victor Mola who can also step off both feet, bringing in two defenders and then offloading there, as you saw towards that try. So it works when executed well, but again, it has to be executed.
Yeah, restart there, well taken in the air. Didn't travel 10, but the Stallions opted to play it. That's a knock-on. Referee awards the scrum to the Stallions. Brian Mwendwa punches the air. Thought he had an opportunity to attack. Has been very good. The Strathmore number 9 with his ball handling skills. Very good on his feet. Stallions, on the other hand, lost the first game without scoring a try. Most definitely would be looking at this game, Strathmore, as sort of a slightly easier opponent where they can be able to at least put some points on the scoreboard. And speaking of points, that is Shamala making a break for it. Shamala for the Stallions kicks the ball but loses possession. Strathmore Leos take up broken pieces, looking to put broken pieces together, kick the ball And looking for their gutsman on the outside channels, that is Victor Mola. Victor Mola wins the race. Victor Mola wins the race. What's the bounce looking like? The bounce has robbed Victor Mola. The battle was there for everyone to see and for everyone to win it, whoever that was involved. Strathmore Leos, however, work so hard at the breakdown, get the ball. Counter coming through from the Stallions. Brian Mwendwa to Gabriel Aimba. Gabriel shows, dances, and Gabriel scores. What a beautiful try.
That is an opportunity there that was created out of defense. You know, Strathmore played in the rough and tough. Remember, they won the first rough and tough sevens earlier with the preseason tournament. It helps to play a preseason tournament. They were under pressure there on their 22-meter, but somehow tackled very quickly, did a turnover, got the ball back, and like I saw about 2-3 weeks ago in the rough and tough tournament, they are willing to kick the ball deep and chase it down there. It's difficult under these conditions, of course, to chase down back in defense, having attacked, then go back to defense. And Victor there just did very well, Victor Mola, to get the ball back and then score. Simple try again. Just
very simple.
And a big step there from Brian. I beg your pardon, Gabriel Ayumba.
Yeah, beautiful, sneaky step there, wicked step. I mean, that guy has a family, bro.
They do. The father didn't have that kind of a step, but
Nijo,
he gave enough rugby genes for them to utilize them. As we see another try there from
Nijo.
Strathmore.
Yeah, Nijo Lamaita going over for that try. Nijo Lamaita plays for the Shujaa team. Blossomed towards the end of the HSBC World Rugby 7 Series last season. Is very good, both as flyer,
fast receiver, yes.
He can play as center.
Yes.
You know, if push comes to shove, you can also play him at 9. He has also a good boot. It's sort of a halfback that you would have wanted to play with in your days.
It does help when you have a player with multiple skills like that, who's an all-round player. Innocent Simi also had those kind of talent. It helps teams like this, of course. National team experience does help, as we see the kick-off shot there from Strathmore Leos. Stallions up to play it and keep going. Strathmore hold the player up. I think the referees he allows them to, it's a turnover.
Simiyu shows and goes. Simiyu 1v1 on the outside channels. And they lose that attacking opportunity. Our center referee, Vincent Miruri, blows the halftime whistle. The halftime scores, Strathmore Leos in the lead. Strathmore 19, Stallions 0. The cup final. So it's an opportunity for Strathmore Leos. I mean, the points come in, very key. They have 19 points in the first half. They should be looking for more in the second half. Stallions would be looking for a response, probably score their first try of the tournament. So it's all to play for in this second half as the Stallions take the ball into contact. Kipski Emmanuel. We have Lawrence Ndungu flings it out to David Obiero. David Obiero taking on the Strathmore Leos. Obiero. Pass back to Brian. Brian Ondieki. The referee was playing an advantage for an offside infringement.
Yeah, they crept in the offside, Strathmore. They have to be disciplined here.
They'll be looking for touch, yes. Emmanuel Ndungu looks for touch. He finds touch successfully.
This is interesting also. Teams nowadays on the penalties not every team takes a scrum. You saw Strathmore when they had a penalty, chose to do a scrum play. The Stallions here opt to go for a line-out. Perhaps they have more confidence on their line-out as opposed to...
Yeah, perhaps they have the confidence. And yes, you can see they rose highest, took the ball, plucked the ball. Shamala comes back down the blind, runs out of real estate. A decision, a bad decision. Those decisions that you would say are coach killers. You see, why would you come back down the blind?
I know, Daka Shamala, they got a solid line out. He had his entire back line ready to receive the ball and chose to come back here just off that breakdown. And the outcomes are what they are. And as I say that, Standard Shikoli here
Shikoli is robbed.
Keeps his coaches on their toes off the touchline with that. It was forced error, to be honest, but you would expect him to keep the ball in that situation.
Quite an interesting second half. No points scored yet. This second half changes. Brian Ondieki comes off for the Stallions. Shamala having...
I hope that is not has anything to do with that run earlier, but the coaches know better.
It has everything to do with that run, Oscar.
Having said that, they do a wraparound, utilizing the open side.
Time to see the replacements.
Replacements doing exactly what the coaches have asked for there.
Brian Omosh to Kipski Emmanuel.
Again, Strathmore creeping offside.
Yeah. That young boy is 19 years old. The young boy who just called for that scrum.
Having said earlier that Stallions prefer line out, but they now choose to take a scrum down.
Yes.
Was that Ken Fremunai?
Ken Fremunai comes down the open, runs down the blind. Cedric Abiniza goes, but is well apprehended. Ken Fremunai isolated. Shikoli. Kipski Emmanuel. Omosh comes back. Ball is tapped in that attempted offload. Ball is open, referee allows play to continue. That was a knock-on and the referee was playing an advantage.
I think it was a knock-on there by Samuel Wafula. Stallions seem to be sort of running out of ideas, but good pressure from Strathmore. They choose to take the risk and sometimes creep offside. They're caught offside. I think a couple of times they've been caught offside, but they put real pressure on the Stallions here, and the pressure pays off.
Ball is stolen. Good contest. Hot potato ball. Emmanuel opts to go for the kick and chase. Lawrence Ndungu, aka Lao, goes. That is Muita. Arnold passes it to his fly on the outside. That is Russell Momanyi. Young blood into the Leos. Leos with possession. Shikoli battles through.
Strathmore one man down here. I think Gabriel Aimba with the floor.
Receiving attention, yeah.
But they still keep possession.
Players tired. Can see hands on the head.
It does take its toll. It does take its toll. Yeah. The sun is up now. That sun will be burning right at the top of their head this time of the day, having played one game earlier. The fitness, the recovery would have been really important. This is, Aimba looks uncomfortable there.
That is Ayiro. The guy on the floor was Ayiro.
Actually, it's Ayiro, yes, not Gabriel.
Joseph Ayiro.
I think Kairo will be coming out. Looks like he's walking off.
And Strathmore Leos seems to have completed their substitutions, and that means they'll be playing one man down. That is for the rest of the game.
Yes, Airo looks really, really uncomfortable, but having said
Elton Amalemba running the outside channels. Zulik Buyuni completes the tackle. Ball goes backwards. Strathmore Leos 6v7. Still finding space on the outside.
I should have let that one
Big
go.
carry there
Should have let it go.
for
He loses possession.
Strathmore Leos side. Dennis Tubey. Tap and go there. Arnold Muita. Agonda. And on the outside channels we have Shkoli, who dances his way. Celebrates before he scores a try. Try time, Strathmore Leos.
Finally, they let it go there. It was a 2v1 situation earlier. They made a big meal out of it, but eventually they get a score.
Yeah, and they're playing 6v7, so you can imagine the confidence in the team.
I mean, this is what you can say. Perhaps the quality of the Leos just showing through that situation there, Walter. If you're still 6 men and you're still able to keep scoring, it's an indication of the quality of Strathmore Leos. It does help to have national team players who play in the World Rugby Series, and the class of Strathmore Leos just showing there at the end as they take that win.
Yeah, definitely. Now we have come to the end of that game. A resounding victory in favor of the Strathmore Leos side, who have shone bright. They take this one 24-0.